Okay, we're in session in cause number, let's see, 325711. Well, actually, it's cause number 325452. Case is style the state of Texas versus Susan Marie Legrand. Ms. Legrand?
I'm present.
Okay, how are you doing, Ms. Legrand?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Ms. Legrand, you're represented by your attorney, Mr. James Macon. Mr. Macon, you have an announcement you'd like to make in Ms. Legrand's case?
I do, Your Honor. Ms. Legrand, I anticipate a plea, and if you could set it with Mr. Powell and Mr. Nix would be fine with me.
Okay, so that case, Mr. Legrand, your case will be reset until October 25th of 2021 for a plea. Ms. Legrand, stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman. This will conclude your case. You're free to go and you have a blessed day. And
Thank
Mr.
you, you
Macon, oh, thank you. Mr. Macon, I
Thank you,
think,
Your Honor. That takes care of all my.
okay, you was kind of breaking up, but Mr. Macon, your recess
Care of all
will
my
be,
cases, Your Honor.
okay. Mr. Macon, your recess will be sent to you. You're free to go and you have a blessed day.
You too, Your Honor. Thank you.
You're welcome. We're in session in cause number 327714. Case is style the state of Texas versus Trenton Kirkland. We have Mr. Kirkland appearing via Zoom. Mr. Kirkland, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Okay, I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking, Mr. Kirkland. You're
Morning,
representing.
Judge.
How are you doing, Mr. Rafford?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing fine. Mr. Rafford, you representing Mr. Kirkland.
Yes, sir.
What is your announcement in Mr. Kirkland's case?
We're ready for trial, Judge.
Okay, hold on a minute. Do we have, what is it? Okay, it's, okay. Do we have any bond conditions in this case? Did we check? 327714. Okay. Okay, Mr. Rafford, Mr. Kirkland's case is going to be reset to November 8th of 2021, and that's for trial.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Kirkland's case, he has a family violence case, and we looked and checked that Mr. Kirkland didn't have any bond conditions set in his case, and so we're going to give him some bond conditions. And these bond conditions, Mr. Rafford, will be sent to your office so you can give them to Mr. Kirkland.
Okay,
And I will,
Your Honor, I would point out that I have given the district attorney a non-prosecution affidavit in this case.
okay, well, that's fine.
Okay.
But let me, I'm gonna read the conditions, and these same conditions will be sent to you to your office. Okay. And it reads, standard bond conditions in county court at law number 2. Following arrest and or accusation in county court at law number 2 of Jefferson County, Texas, all bail bonds executed for release of any defendant named herein are ordered subject to the following conditions. Number 1, the defendant shall commit no offense against the laws of this state, any other state, or of the United States. Mr. Kirkland, do you understand that?
Yes, sir, I understand.
Okay, condition number 2, the defendant shall submit to testing for drugs and alcohol at any time as directed by the court. The court may revoke the bond and order the arrest of any defendant who, A, refuses to submit to a test for drugs and alcohol when directed to do so by the court, or B, submit to a test for drugs and alcohol, and the test indicates the presence of drugs and alcohol in the defendant's body. And that's pursuant to the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 17.44, A2 and C2. Do you understand that condition, Mr. Kirkland?
Yes, sir, I understand.
And the next condition, the third, condition number 3 states, the defendant shall not communicate either directly or indirectly with the alleged victim of the pending offense, and the defendant shall not go near any residence, school, or other location frequented by the alleged victim. Do you understand that condition?
Yes, sir, I understand.
Okay, and condition number 4 does not apply to you. Mr. Kirkland, these bond conditions will be sent to your attorney, and he'll provide you with a copy of the bond conditions. And again, Mr. Kirkland, your case have been reset for trial for November 8th of 2021. Stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman. You're free to go. And Mr. Rafford, these bond conditions as well as your reset date will be sent to you. And you're free to go as well, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. Okay. Would you get Stephen Jones? We're in session in 3 cases. First case is cause number 328684. Second case is cause number 329190. Third case is cause number 329996. All 3 cases are styled the state of Texas versus Stephen Earl Jones. Is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Jones?
I'm doing all right.
That's good. Mr. Jones, you're represented by Mr. John Macy. Mr. Macy is appearing via Zoom. Why Zoom's not on in the courtroom? Mr. Macy,
Yes, Your
how are
Honor.
you doing?
I'm fine, Your Honor. Thanks for asking.
You're welcome. Now, Mr. Macy, I see here in Mr. Jones' 3 cases, he also have 2 felony cases which are set for September 20th of 2021.
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you requesting that these cases be set on that same date, or do you like to have them set on a different date?
I'd ask that the court just set them on the same date is fine.
Okay,
Well, I say that what was the date, Judge?
September 20th of 2021.
20th?
Yes,
Yeah, that's fine, Your Honor. I know that I wanted to hold off until since he has the pending felonies, I wanted to find out what happens in there before I do anything in these cases. So, yeah, the same day is perfectly fine with me, Judge.
okay. Mr. Jones, your cases are gonna be reset till September 20th of 2021. Same your case. What you need to do is, on that day, you're gonna report here and check in with the bailiff. And then, once you finish checking in with the bailiff, you're gonna report to criminal district court. And once you finish in criminal district court, then you're gonna come back here, report back here to let us know what happened in that case, okay? So, Mr. Jones, you can stand on the 4X right over here in front of our coordinator. And she's gonna reset your case. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day. Mr. Mason, you have any other cases?
I do, Your Honor, but he's also has a pending felony. It's he's on page 5, I believe, of your announcement docket.
Okay, hold on a minute. He must not be here.
It's
Yeah,
Mr.
Darbone. Oh, well, he's in
Darbone.
jail. Well, he's in jail. So
Yes,
what
Judge.
normally happens, what we normally do with those, it depends on what happened with the felony case. Then, if it's reset, we'll reset it on the same day. If it's disposed of, then the case will be set on our jail review docket for Thursday.
Okay.
And then it'll be disposed of then, or unless the misdemeanor is disposed of through the felonies. Okay,
Okay.
so you don't have to appear on that one. So we're just gonna keep an eye on it to see whether or not it's reset.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so you're free to go, Mr. Macy, and your resets will be sent to you, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Judge. Same to you.
Okay, you're welcome. Mr. Bailiff, would you please go get Lawrence Moles? We're in session and cause number 328870. The case is styled, the state of Texas versus Lawrence Moles III.
Yes, sir.
Is that your full name, Mr. Moles?
Yes, sir.
Okay, how are you doing, Mr. Moles?
All right.
That's good. Mr. Moles, you're represented by your attorney, Mr. Terrence Allison, who's appearing via Zoom. Mr. Allison, how are you doing?
Good morning, Judge. I'm fine.
That's good. Mr. Allison, you have an announcement you'd like to make in Mr. Mo's case?
Judge, I'm asking that this case be reset to the next announcement document.
Okay. Okay. Reset. Okay, it's gonna be reset to 10:25. Okay, Mr. Allison,
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Mo's felony is reset. His
Nine.
case is set for December 14 of 2021, according to my
That's
document.
fine. Let's do it on that day.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay. December 14 of 2021. Mr. Moles, your case is gonna be reset to, it's gonna be reset the same day with your felony case. And so what you need to do on that day is report here, check in with the bailiff, let him know that you're here. Then you're gonna go to criminal district court, take care of that matter, and then come back here, report back here to let us know what happened in criminal district court with the felony case. If it's reset, this case probably will be reset with that case. All right, stand on the forex. The court coordinator will reset your case till that day. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day. And Mr. Allison, your reset will be sent to you. And I think this concludes your case. And you have a blessed day as well. You're free to go.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Josephus Lewis Robertson? Robinson? Okay. We're in session in cause number 329228. The case is style, the state of Texas versus Josephus Lewis Robinson. Is that correct? Mr. Robinson, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Robinson, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God? Okay, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Robinson? That's good. Mr. Robinson, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. Willard Hall. Mr. Hall, how are you doing?
Doing great, Ron.
That's good. Mr. Hall, you waive a record in this case?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Robinson, I have before me an information that alleges that on or about December 15 of 2020, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, operating a motor vehicle in a public place, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated with an alcohol concentration level of 0.15 or more. Mr. Robinson, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Now, you're pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you do not, are you pleading guilty because you're guilty? Mr. Robinson, I have before me a document that is titled the Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. It's also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. On page 2 of this document, there are a set of initials on a line next to a box that's checked guilty. Or did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that's titled Defendant. Did you sign this document?
Yes, sir.
On the next document, which is the trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, do you recognize this document? Is that your signature above the line that's titled Defendant?
It is.
There are 2 boxes that's checked at the top of this document. The first box states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that? The second box states that you're waiving, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that? Mr. Robinson, I also have before me a document that is titled the Discovery Certification. Mr. Robinson, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
It is.
And prior to signing and initialing all of these documents that I've just mentioned, did your attorney, Mr. Hall, go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? State, I have before me State's Exhibit Number 1. State, you like to offer State's 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections?
No objection.
No objection. State's Exhibit Number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Hall, you've advised and counseled Mr. Robinson. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Robinson, your attorney, Mr. Hall, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Robinson, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea of guilty and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
The agreement is for 20 days jail, probated over 1 year, a $600 fine, 60 hours community service, DWI education, drug and alcohol assessment, and interlock device.
Robinson, the state is offering that you serve 120 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail for this case because you will be placed on probation for 1 year. During the 1 year probationary period, you will be required to pay a fine of $600 plus court costs of $422, which comes to a total of $1,022. That's fine and court costs. You'll be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month a urinalysis fee of $15 each month. You will be required to pay the Jefferson County DWI education class and initial evaluation fee of $125 on the day of the plea. And should a further evaluation be needed, you'll be required to pay an additional $50. The total amount of money that you would have to pay in monthly installments is $170 each month. Will you be able to pay the $170 each month?
Yes, ma'am.
You will also be required to perform 60 hours of community service, attend a DWI education class, and have a drug and alcohol assessment. And you'll be required to install a DWI interlock device on any vehicle that you own or operate. And you will be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of this probation. Mr. Robinson, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Robinson, do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you accept the state's offer?
I do, ma'am.
Mr. Robinson, I'll follow the plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Robinson, you're gonna stand on the X next to your attorney. You're gonna follow the directions of the clerk. And once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Please sign it.
And you have no opinion from the paperwork. All right, you're gonna take this paperwork and what's the Jefferson County? Is that a Terrence? That was in 91.
Mr. Bailey, would you please go get Ernest Scott? You Ernest Scott? Mr. Scott, would you come forward? Mr. Smith? Are we ready? Ernest Scott, did you do the paperwork on here?
I'm not, I still need to talk to you next week about this.
Oh,
Regarding the rest.
okay. Just, we have to call you back about that too.
I told that they
I know you have another guy, another person that's not here.
Appointed me on Frederick Williams.
Oh,
I'm not appointed on his felony and he is in jail.
Oh, well, if he's in jail, what we'll normally do is just reset the felony case with the misdemeanor case with the felony case. That's what we normally do. We just have most of the cases that's on our docket today.
It's like an injury to an elderly or something of that nature, so I'm not really, and I don't remember which attorney was appointed on.
Hold on, you said, what's his name?
Frederick Williams.
Grove, you said? Grove, he said is on
Okay.
felony.
Well, I'll touch base with David.
So this one will be probably reset on the same day, unless you want it on a different day. It says for September 15th. Oh, okay, I got 15 on the, no, I'm looking at the wrong one. Yeah, okay, it's set for September 13th.
I'd like it set for like maybe
After
a
that?
little bit after.
Okay, just get your reset from, Allison had another one. No, it's not a jail, so. She's here. Catherine Singleton. Panther. We're in session and cause number 328100, case of style of the state of Texas versus Michael Hall. Full name is Michael Hall? Yes. How you doing, Mr. Hall? That's good. Mr. Hall, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. Ryan Gertz. Mr. Gertz, how you doing?
Great, Judge.
That's good. Mr. Gertz, you have an announcement you'd like to make in Mr. Hall's case?
Yes, Judge, this is a first setting. I think we're waiting for a response to a pretrial diversion letter, but also I'm don't have the video or haven't reviewed the video yet in this case.
Okay,
So I'd ask for maybe a 60-day resetting.
okay,
From Mr. Hall.
okay. Could you give us a reset date? Okay, it's gonna be reset to October 4th of 2021. Mr. Hall, once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go. And you have a blessed day. And Mr. Gertz, let's see, you can get your, I guess you sign over there and sign your reset. Ronald Cormier? He's here. Yeah.
Which this is, you might be able to work out, but I don't want to clog up your trial docket by telling you it's going to be a trial. So, nothing.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Cormier, see some, I see you got LSU, you from Louisiana?
Yes, sir.
Is it Cormier?
It's Cormier. It's Cormier. You actually.
Okay.
Son of a Trump.
Okay,
I
yeah.
always forget. I want to make sure we say it right.
Yeah, I know.
From Welsh.
Okay, it's on different side of the river, yeah. Yeah, okay, how you doing, Mr. Cormier?
I'm fine, Your Honor. About yourself?
Oh, I'm doing fine. Now, Mr. Cormier, case is set on our pretrial conference docket, what would you,
I think we just keep it there on the pretrial. Yes.
okay,
We said it.
okay, how much time?
The later. He's got a surgery. He's doing
Okay.
later this week on his foot. So.
Oh, okay, we hope you come out all right on your surgery.
Thanks.
Okay, Mr. Cormier, you can get your reset from your attorney. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
Mr. We're in session at cause number 328-336. Case is styled State of Texas versus Catherine A. Singleton. The full name is this Catherine Annette Singleton?
Yes.
How you doing, Ms. Singleton? Do you need to sit down or anything? You okay? Okay. Now, Ms. Singleton, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. Terrence Allison, who's appearing on Zoom. Mr. Allison, you have an announcement you'd like to make for Ms. Singleton?
Yes, I'd like to place this case on the next announcement docket, Your Honor.
Okay, give us a date. 10 what?
25.
Okay. Case is reset till October 25th of 2021. Ms. Singleton, you can stand on that 4X in front of our coordinator, get your reset. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
And Mr. Allison, your
Yeah.
reset will be sent to you. You're free to go and you have a blessed day as well.
And that's October 25th, Your Honor, you said?
Yeah, let's make
Okay.
sure. And Mr. Allison,
Yes.
let's see. Hold on a minute. You have Remiscue Sims. I think he has a oh, it's already been reset. Okay, never mind. You're free to go and you
Thank
have
you.
a blessed day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Ernest Wallace Scott Jr. The full name is Ernest Wallace Scott Jr. Mrs. Scott, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Scott, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, to help you God?
Yes, sir.
You may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Scott?
All right, you know.
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Scott, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. Bruce Smith. Mr. Smith, how are you doing?
Fine, how are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Smith, do you waive a record in this case?
Sir?
Do you waive a record in
Oh,
this case?
sorry, yes, sir.
Mr. Scott, I have before me an information that alleges that on or about August 15 of 2020, while you're in Jefferson County, Texas, operating a motor vehicle in a public place, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated with an alcohol concentration level of 0.15 or more. Mr. Scott, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Scott, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
Now, you're pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Scott, I have before me a document that is titled the Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment, also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Oh, you got B, I'm gonna change that to A. It's a Class A misdemeanor.
Oh, yes, sir, sorry.
Okay. Mr. Scott, I have before me a document that is titled the Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments, also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Now, the box that I've checked on this document states that the range of punishment for a Class A misdemeanor is confinement in jail for a term not to exceed 1 year, a fine not to exceed $4,000, or you could be given both such fine and confinement. Do you understand the range of punishment for Class A misdemeanors?
Yes, sir.
Now, on page 2 of the same document, Mr. Scott, there are a set of initials ES on a line next to a box that's checked no contingent, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of the same document, Mr. Scott, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
On page, well, on the next document, which is the trial court certification, the defendant's right of appeal, Mr. Scott, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Is this your signature above the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
There are 2 boxes that are checked at the top of this document. The first box states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Second box states that you're waiving, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that? Mr. Scott, I also have a document before me. This document is titled the discovery certification. Do you recognize this document, Mr. Scott?
Yes, sir.
Is this your signature above the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Scott, prior to signing and initiating all of these documents that I've just mentioned, did your attorney go over these documents with you? And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me state's exhibits number 1. State, you'd like to offer, excuse me, the state's exhibit number 1.
Yes, Your Honor. State will also offer state's exhibit number 2, the probable cause affidavit.
Any objections?
No objection.
No objection. State's exhibits number 1 and 2 are admitted. Mr. Smith, you advised and counseled Mr. Scott. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
None, Your Honor.
Mr. Scott, your attorney, Mr. Smith has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Scott, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea of no contest and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
180 days jail, probation, over 18 months,
Okay,
$1,500 fine, 80 hours community service, DWI education course, drug and alcohol, and admission error.
okay. Mr. Scott, the state is offering that you serve 180 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you not have to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail for this case because you will be placed on probation for 18 months. During the 18-month probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $1,500 plus court costs of $422. The fine and court costs comes to a total of $1,922. You'll also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month, a urinalysis fee of $15 each month. You will be required to pay the Jefferson County DWI education class and initial evaluation fee of $125. And should a further evaluation be needed, you'll be required to pay a $50. You'll be required to pay $50. Your total monthly installments that you would have to pay for this probation is $190 each month. Mr. Scott, will you be able to pay the $190 each month?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Scott, you will be required to perform 80 hours of community service, attend a DWI education class, and you'll be required to have a drug and alcohol assessment and install a DWI interlock device on any vehicle that you own and operate, and you'll be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of your probation. Mr. Scott, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Scott, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Scott, you're gonna stand on the X next to your attorney, and you're gonna follow the directions of our court clerk. Once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Okay.
Now,
Mr. Brown, Joseph Brown.
And given the 32.
is, Mr. Bailiff, is Joseph Jamal Brown present? said Jasper.
Oh, Jasper. You said it, Jasper? And, what year do you use that?
We're in session in clause number 325978. The case is styled the state of Texas versus Joseph Jamal Brown. Mr. Brown, is that your full name? How you doing, Mr. Brown? That's good. Mr. Brown, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. Alvin. Mr. Samuel, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you, sir.
That's good. Now, Mr. Samuel, I see here on the docket sheet that Mr. Brown has a case in drug court that's set for September the 20th of 2021.
Yes, sir.
This case, what is your announcement on this case?
We're trying to get that resolved with,
Okay, so what, you like to have it set on the same date or a different date? Okay. Mr. Brown, your case is gonna be reset on September 20th of 2021. And Mr. Brown, what that means is you have to be in both courts. So, yeah,
Yeah, could we have that set after the film?
okay.
October 4th? That's fine. Yeah.
Okay, so your case is gonna be reset to October 4th of 2021. Mr. Brown, once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go.
Thank you.
Okay. You got
324.
Jason Doyle on Zoom.
Yeah, Mr. Doyle.
Okay, we're in session in cause number 324022. The case is styled the state of Texas versus Jason Lynn Doyle. Mr. Doyle, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, Your Honor. Yourself?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Doyle, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. Alvin Samuel. Sam, you have an announcement you'd like to make in Mr. Doyle's case?
Yes, Your Honor. We'd like to have one additional setting. I have an offer from the state to dismiss the case with restitution. So I want to have an opportunity to visit with Mr. Doyle to find out if we will be able to do that.
Okay. Could you give us how much time you need?
30 days is fine.
30 days, okay.
Yes, 30 days, because he would have to, it's $1,700 restitution. So if we can get a setting for at least 30 days, you know.
Okay, she said it's gonna be reset on October 4th? Okay, reset to October 4th of 2021. Mr. Doyle, your case is being reset to October 4th of 2021. Stay in contact with your attorney. Your attorney will be giving you a reset. You're free to go, and you have a blessed day. And thanks for being patient with us.
You too, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Hold on a minute.
I don't have discovery yet. This is our first setting. That's okay, Dan.
Check on, would you go get, is Wesley Dupuy? Dupuy, is he not on Zoom? His last name is pronounced Dupuy? Not there? Is he on Zoom? He's not on Zoom. The person that have Galaxy A12, would you please announce your name?
Kevin Robbins.
Robbins, okay. You can put the mic back. Rollins, okay, you can put the mic back on mute. Okay, Depew is not here yet. You just have to wait for him to arrive. Rollins. Okay, you can find, that's fine. Rollins, let's see. Oh, that's James Paget.
I'm ready on one too, Judge, whenever.
Yeah, I mean, but when we, at the end of the docket, we'll call if she doesn't hear, may end up being a bond forfeiture. Okay. Now, Juno. Oh, see, that person's, you here for vote?
Well, yes, but I believe.
Well,
that
Vo
one
is
needs
a
to be
jail.
reset.
That's a
Mr.
jail.
Mr. Promise is here though, Judge, is the one. I have two that are in custody that I believe will be reset because of felonies. But then Mr. Promise is here in person.
Okay, this is cause number 328-546. Case is style State of Texas versus Ronald Carl Promise Jr. Is that your full name?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Promise, how are you doing?
I'm okay.
I'm doing fine. Mr. Promise, you're here with your attorney, Mr. Charles McIntosh. Mr. McIntosh, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Judge, thank you.
That's good. Mr. McIntosh, you have an announcement you'd like to make in Mr. Promise case?
Yes, Judge, I've spoken with the DA's office, we've gone back and forth on some offers, and so we just asked for one more reset to allow my client to have a chance to consider it. That works for me.
Okay, it's gonna be reset to October 25th of 2021. Mr. Promise, once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go. You have a blessed day.
Yes, sir.
And Mr. McIntosh, I think this will conclude your cases.
Yes, Judge, I believe those other two have already got reset, or will need to be. Bo and Manuel, I believe. Yeah, they're both in custody.
And they have not reset those yet.
I have county court three stuff, so if y'all hear anything, I can.
Is Ethan Smith here?
Wait, is it already today or? Ethan Smith?
Yeah, Ethan Smith.
9/7, yeah.
Um, Can we do 9/8? Okay, thank you, ma'am.
That's yours, Mr. Nathan Reynolds, Ethan Smith.
Somebody. No, I have Richard Vasquez. Yes, ma'am.
Do you need a reset on that one?
I have I see you have a Ethan James Smith as well. He has this other guy has a case in drug court. Ethan Smith has a drug court case too this morning. Yeah, I think he represents, yeah, okay, Kevin Lane on that one. Kevin Lane, okay. Okay, Richard Vasquez, would you see if Richard Vasquez is here? Because I know when he went out there first time, he didn't answer. You can, you said you was going, what was that? He had a felony too?
Yes, sir, that's what he did.
Oh, that was in 252nd, yeah. But apparently, did you tell him to come here?
I did. Let me see if I can find it.
Okay. We have Ladada Toran, could you call Ladada Toran? Yes. Morning.
But he just.
Where is it?
Richard Vasquez.
Okay, have Vasquez. Well, no, we got Toran right now. We'll get him after. We're in session in two cases. First case is cause number 322-962-2. Second case is cause number 322-990. Both cases are style of State of Texas versus Ladada Toran. Ms. Toran, how are you doing? That's good. Now, Ms. Toran, you're right here represented by your attorney, Mr. Tom Kelly. Mr. Kelly, how are you doing?
Just fine, Judge. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Mr. Kelly, do you have an announcement you'd like to make in Mr. Toran's cases?
I believe we've reached a resolution, Your Honor, if you would set us off to a plea document.
Okay, just hold on. Okay, case is reset to October 4th of 2021. Ms. Toran, once you get your resets, from your attorney, you'll be free to go. And Mr. Kelly, this is Shelley.
It is, Your Honor.
Okay, you're free to go as well, and you have a blessed day.
You as well, Judge. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. We're in session in two cases. Cause numbers 328-720 and cause number 329-186. Both cases are style of State of Texas versus Richard Edward Vasquez. Your full name is Richard Edward Vasquez?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Vasquez? That's good. Mr. Vasquez, you here with your attorney, Mr. Nathan Reynolds. Mr. Reynolds, how are you doing?
Good well, Judge.
Mr. Reynolds, do you have an announcement you'd like to make in Mr. Vasquez cases?
Mr. Vasquez has a pending felony, who just been arrested this morning. He agreed to it's for 2 weeks. We'd ask that this case be set against along with that.
Do y'all have a court date?
I haven't received it yet, but the judge said it's set for 2 weeks, so I do not have a court date.
Richard Vasquez, bottom page 9. Cause number 328-720. Okay, it's reset on October 4th. That's 2. Oh, it's more than 2 weeks, huh? Okay. But we're gonna reset it on the same day, October 4th of 2021. Mr. Vasquez, once you get your resets from your attorney, you'll be free to go. And you have a blessed day. And Mr. Reynolds,
I'm gonna go check
On the other case? Okay.
And, you want me to,
Just, yeah, I mean, he needs to report here.
okay. I'll
Okay.
get it.
All right. You have a blessed day.
I'll have you resend it. Or you wanna wait? Either way.
Okay. Who we have? Alexandria. Where did Jansen? There he is. Yeah, you working on that paperwork on most? Okay. Now we have some folks, we still have some people on Zoom. Paget got some people. Yeah, that's mostly Paget's folks on Zoom. Yeah. That's a Carrington. Oh, Mr. Cobb? Bruce Cobb?
Yes, Your Honor.
You here for Carrington Scott?
Yes, Your Honor, I am.
Okay, now
Yes.
Carrington Scott, she's in jail and she has I guess at one time her felony was set on this date and they reset it to September 15th. So this case is going to be reset till that same date.
Can we hopefully, okay, possibly, I've got a motion. The only thing that's keeping me from pleading this case is that felony and also the fact that there is a attempted burglary of a building. I need to talk to the prosecution about it because if we could dispose of that attempted burglary, then I could probably plead the theft and that would take care of the cases from my standpoint.
Oh, well, just talk to the prosecutors, but in the meantime, this case is going to be reset till a felony date of September 15th.
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, I could appear by Zoom on that date, but I was wondering if we have to have a trial, could it be set on a Monday? We could look into that. Maybe we don't have to do that now.
Well, no, I mean, right now, the case, I mean, unless you want to set for trial, right now, she has some, look like she has some trial motions in her felony case set for September 15th of 2021.
Okay. Okay.
Okay,
Let's
so we'll just, what you want to
wait
do?
on the felony.
All right, so we'll
Okay.
set on the same day with the felony, September 15th of 2021.
Okay.
And your reset will be sent to you, and I think this is your only case.
Yes,
that
Your
we
Honor.
have. You're free to go and you have a blessed day. Thanks for being patient.
Thank you, Your Honor. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Like most, everyone who's on Zoom that's represented by James Paget, Mr. Paget he stepped out of the courtroom, so we're waiting for Mr. Paget to come back in. So just be patient. Okay. Where is he going? Okay, the attorney's stepped out. Alexandria Moats, cause number 326782. Case is style the state of Texas versus Alexandria Moats. Is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ms. Moats, would you please raise your right hand? Miss-
I'm printing the audit report, I'm sorry, right now.
Oh. Okay, just hold on a minute. Y'all have y'all discovery certification? Did it stay signed? No. No, yeah, 'cause you're gonna have to e-file it anyway. We're in session at cause number 326782. The case is style, the state of Texas versus Alexandria Moats. Ms. Moats, would you please raise your right hand? Ms. Moats, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
You may put your hand down. How are you doing, Ms. Moats?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Ms. Moats, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. Jansen Bailey. Mr. Bailey, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Your Honor.
That's good, Mr. Bailey. Will you be waiving a record in this case?
Yes.
Ms. Moats, I have before me an information that alleges that on or about November 30th of 2019, while you're in Jefferson County, Texas, you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of resisting arrest, search, transportation. Ms. Moats, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, Your Honor.
And to this charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest?
No contest.
Now, you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Moats, I have before me a document that is titled the misdemeanor plea admonishment. It's also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Ms. Moats, do you recognize this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
On page 2 of the same document, Ms. Moats, there is a set of initials on a line next to a box that's checked no contender, which means no contest. Are these your initials?
Yes, Your Honor.
On page 3 of this same document, Ms. Moats, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes, Your Honor.
And on the next document, which is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is that your signature above the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, Your Honor.
And there are two boxes that are checked at the top of this document. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case, then you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
The second box states that you're waiving, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that? And I have another document here. This document is titled the Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Ms. Most, prior to signing and initialing these documents that I've just mentioned, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit Number 1. State, you like to offer State's Exhibit Number 1?
Yes, Your Honor. State would also offer State's Exhibit Number 2, the probable cause affidavit.
Okay. Do you have any objections, Mr. Bailey? No objections? State's Exhibits Number 1 and 2 are admitted. Mr. Bailey, you were advised in counsel. Ms. Most, is there any evidence that she is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Most, your attorney, Mr. Bailey, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has he provided fully effective and competent legal representation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Most, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
It's 1 year deferred adjudicated probation and a $500 fine.
State, you waiving court costs?
With the court costs, yes.
Hmm?
Court costs as well, the $500 plus the court costs. We mean community service hours? No, there's-
I mean, yeah, I
I'm
mean,
sorry,
community
yeah.
service, yeah.
No community service.
Okay, state waives community service. Okay. Ms. Most, the state is offering that you serve 1 year deferred adjudicated probation. During the 1 year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $500 plus court costs, and the court cost is $287. The total fine and court cost is $787. You'll also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month, your analysis fee of $15 each month. Your total monthly installments will be $150 each month. Ms. Most, will you be able to pay the $150 each month?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Most, you will also, the community service case, in this case, will be waived, and you will also be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of your probation. Ms. Most, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Most, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Ms. Most, I'll defer a finding of guilt, place you on probation for 1 year. And during the 1 year probationary period, you'll be required to pay the fine and court costs, total of the fine of $500, the court cost of $287, comes to a total $787. And you'll be paying a probation fee of $6 each month. And a year now, $15 each month, and your monthly installments will be $150. Will also be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of probation. Ms. Most, if you successfully complete the deferred probationary period, this case will be dismissed and not appear on your record as a conviction. And you may qualify for a non-disclosure. You can talk to your attorney, Mr. Jansen Bailey, about non-disclosure. He's quite competent on those matters. Ms. Most, please stand on the X next to your attorney, and you're gonna follow the directions of our court clerk. Once you finish following those directions, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. You are. It's on the docket.
Yeah, it's on the announcement docket. It's,
Hold on a minute. Oh, just wait till we finish with that.
no, it's always good seeing you. Always have-
Raise your right hand for me. Do you swear that you have never before been convicted or placed on the third adjudication or regular probation for a felony or misdemeanor in Texas or any other state? Okay, and you have no committed charges that you're aware
Mr. Bailey, would you please go get Emmanuel Castro?
of. All right, so you're just gonna report to this address as soon as you leave here, and they'll go over your, probation.
We're in session at cause number 329-804. Case of Style of State of Texas versus Emmanuel Castro. Mr. Castro, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Castro?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing fine. Mr. Castro, you're here with your attorney, Mr. Jansen Bailey. Mr. Bailey, you have an announcement you'd like to make in Mr. Castro's case?
Yes, Your Honor, I've asked that we have the matter reset. I need to either gather discovery on this case, and if I'm correct, I believe that this one's attached to a felony.
And also, yes. Also, Mr. Castro, I see you have another case, 329-378, and you do not have an attorney on that case? It's unlawful carrying a weapon? You see he was set to hire an attorney?
Yes.
So you have two of them, two unlawful carriers?
Yeah,
Okay, I'll take care of it. We'll
Well,
figure it out, but I mean.
I think right now, until you, you need to, yeah, get us a letter of representation in. She gonna give you a reset. Your name is gonna be on one, his name is gonna be on another, and they probably could be on the same day.
Okay.
You get your, letter in. Okay. What date is that? Okay, could you give us a date? 10/4 is the reset date. Mr. Castro, you can stand over there, you're gonna have to sign one of them. Maybe the second one, yeah, the first one, and then Mr. Bailey, you'll sign the second one. Once you get your recess, Mr. Castro, you'll be free to go, you have a blessed day. And the same to you, Mr. Bailey, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. Mr. Paget?
Your Honor.
Good morning.
All my clients are on Zoom.
Yes, I know.
Apologize for the clarity, so I was here a little while ago, and I got called late.
Okay, you probably accepted.
I was actually here, I just had to, apologize.
All right, that's fine. First case we call in is cause number 327-664. Case is Style of State of Texas versus Jacody Gordon Moore. Mr. Jacody Gordon Moore is appearing via Zoom. Mr. Moore, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm doing fine as well. Thanks for asking. And Mr. Moore, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. James Paget. Mr. Paget, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Your Honor. Good seeing you.
Mr. Paget, you have an announcement you'd like to make in Mr. Moore's case?
Yes, Your Honor. We now have an offer to run concurrent with a felony probation that he's on. So if you would put a plea docket, we will have him in here in person and we'll take care of that.
Okay.
It's a deferred offer to run concurrent with the felony probation. that he's
Okay, so
currently
we're gonna reset him on the plea docket?
Whatever docket pleases.
Okay.
It'll be disposed of on the date.
Okay,
we bring it
that's
up.
fine. Just hold on a minute.
Yes, Your Honor. And I will contact you, Mr. Moore. Yeah.
This is Jacody Moore, bottom of page 5, cause number 327664. Reset him on the plea docket.
10:25.
Okay, Mr. Moore, your case will be reset till October 25th of 2021. Your attorney will be giving you a reset. This will conclude your case. Stay in contact with your attorney. You're free to go. And thanks for being patient with us, and you have a blessed day.
Yes, sir.
On the second case, they said you don't show up as the attorney.
Well, the state has made an offer on it, Your Honor.
Yeah.
The state has made an offer to dismiss upon forfeiture. I'm going to relay that offer to my client, and I'm certain that he will accept it. It'll be 1 year deferred on the other case.
Okay. Who? Oh. Notes.
Clear mind. I cannot do this. I just walked in the door. Just drop your seal away.
Mr. Williams, would you please put your mic on mute?
Oh.
Always looking at that mute button.
Okay, next case is cause number 324360. Case is style of state of Texas versus Kevin Lamont Rollins.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Rollins, how are you doing?
I'm blessed, Your Honor. How about yourself?
I'm blessed as well, and thanks for asking. Mr. Rollins, you're here, well, your attorney, Mr. James Paget, is here in court. Mr. Paget, you have an announcement you'd like to make in Mr. Rollins' case?
Yes, Mr. Rollins is an honorably discharged veteran, Your Honor. We've applied for the Veterans Program. I have an initial email from Ms. Malfino accepting Mr. Rollins into the program. Mr. Boyd is going to check on details now to verify exactly what steps Mr. Rollins needs to take. From that point, I'll notify Mr. Rollins and we'll go forward with the program.
Okay, how much time you need on your reset?
Mr. Boyd. I'll let you know today. Whatever pleases the court.
So I can do a regular reset for 10:25 and 1:10
Either one of those two dates, whatever pleases the court. Mr. Boyd said he would notify me. He always keeps his word when it comes to.
Okay, hold on a minute. Would it, October 25th?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Rollins, your case
Yes,
is
sir.
reset to October 25th. Stay in contact with your attorney. Your attorney will be giving you a reset date. Also stay in contact with your bondsman as well. And Mr.
Yes.
Rollins, this will conclude your case. You are free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Yes, sir. You too. Thank you.
All right, and thanks for your appearance.
Yes, sir. You're welcome.
All right. Let's see. Tyrod Williams.
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is cause number 326274. The case is style of State of Texas versus Tyrod Williams.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Williams, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Yourself?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Williams, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. James Paget, who is present in court. Mr. Paget, do you have an announcement you'd like to make?
I do, Your Honor. I have received all the blood results on the case that I need to forward to Mr. Williams. Also have an offer on the case now. So if you would just give us a standard reset, we'll have this case taken care of. I just need to contact Mr. Williams and relay some information to him.
What's our reset date?
The last one on 10/25.
10/20. Okay, the case is, Mr. Williams, your case is reset to October 25th. Stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman. Thanks for being patient with us. You're free to go, and you have a blessed day.
We'll contact you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, and your attorney said he's going to contact you.
Yes, sir.
We're in session in cause number 328174. The case is style of State of Texas versus Philip James Fouts. Mr. Fouts is appearing via Zoom. Mr. Fouts, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fine, Mr. Fouts. Thanks for asking. Mr. Fouts, you were here represented by your attorney, Mr. James Paget, who is appearing in court. Mr. Paget, you have an announcement for Mr. Fouts?
Yes, Your Honor. I have worked out a situation to where he's going to be, I'm going to have this case run concurrent with this felony, Your Honor. So again, if you would set us on 10/4.
He doesn't have a felony.
No, he's on a felony probation. Right
Oh,
now. So we're gonna
okay.
We're going to run this case concurrent with that one. And I have to work with Ms.
So
Jackson.
you want to reset on 10/4, you
Yes,
said?
Your Honor. And I will contact Mr. Fouts and explain what he needs to do from there.
Okay, Mr. Fouts, your case is being reset to October 4th of 2021. And is it set for like a plea?
That's fine. It'll be disposed of on that day. Your Honor.
Okay, so Mr. Fouts, you have to appear in person on that day in court.
Correct.
And Mr. Fouts, stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman. You'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Yes, sir.
Probably tomorrow I'll be contacting you, Mr. Fouts.
Okay.
And we'll set up a time to meet.
All right.
Now, next case is cause number 328326. Case is style of State of Texas versus Ronald Villegas Jr. We have
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Villegas appearing via Zoom. Mr. Villegas, how are you doing?
Okay, fine. You?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Villegas, you here represented by your attorney, Mr. James Paget. Mr. Paget, I see here, I'm looking at the court, I'm looking at the notes on the pretrial conference docket on our docket.
Yes, Your
Says
Honor.
that he was supposed to provide proof of interlock.
I need
In
to
10
ask you
days?
about that. Mr. Gassi, tell me about your interlock situation.
Sir?
The mic is over here. Why don't you stand on this side? Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, I can hear you now.
Tell me about your driving situation with the interlock.
I had to let the truck go. I couldn't pay the notes on it due to my house a lot of things came up, so I
How are
let
you-
one
are you-
day.
How's your transportation? Are you getting from one place to another?
I have family been taking me around, so I'm able to get back to work full time and keep up everything. So couldn't keep up the bill without paying notes on it.
Okay, so now, Mr. Vegas, you understand that you're required to have an interlock device on any vehicle that you own or operate. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So are you telling, I guess you just told your attorney that you do not own a vehicle. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you are getting rides from family members. So you're not operating any vehicle. Is that correct?
No, sir.
Your Honor, I think maybe it would be good to admonish him that if he is stopped in a vehicle, that he's most
Yeah.
likely going to be arrested.
Yeah. Now, Mr. Villegas, you know, if you are operating a vehicle without an interlock device, and if you get stopped, that's a violation of condition of your bond, and your bond can be revoked, which means if your bond is revoked, you could be placed in the Jefferson County Jail. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, Mr. Paget, do you have an announcement?
Yes, Your Honor. This is going to go on the plea docket on 10-4 as
Okay.
well, and I have an offer from Ms. Maxey. I'll be contacting you, sir, this week, most likely tomorrow.
And Mr. Villegas, this case is going on the plea docket for October 4th of 2021. On that day, you have to appear in person in court and stay in contact with your bondsman and stay in contact with your attorney. Thank you for being patient with us this morning. This will conclude your case. You're free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next case is cause number 328600, State of Texas versus Thad Emery Lloyd. Mr. Lloyd is appearing via Zoom. Mr. Lloyd, how are you doing?
I'm fine, sir. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Lloyd, you're represented by your attorney who's here, Mr. James Paget. And Mr. Paget, do you have an announcement that you would like to make in Mr. Lloyd's cases?
I do, Your Honor. I've actually got some good information from my client. We're going to be able to apply for pretrial diversion on his case. And I'll be contacting Mr. Lloyd. Mr. Lloyd, I'll be contacting you today to explain to you what we need to do here, but I'm going to apply for a pretrial diversion program today.
Okay, so let's do this here. We'll set it in October, because the next pretrial date is first week of October. Let's set it for October 25th.
We can do that. I'm not sure whether I'll be able to get him. I need to see how, backed up they are. I will apply today.
Okay.
But I can't promise you that.
Okay, I know,
they'll
but
get
if
me in on that
he's not
October.
in on that day, then the next sign-up date is December.
That's
So
fine, Your Honor.
yeah.
That's
We'll
not a
kinda do it
problem
like
at all.
that. Okay, now, Mr. Lloyd, your case is gonna be reset. We said October 25th?
Yes, Your Honor. Well, whatever. No. Yeah. Oh,
Well, is that the first, when is the first Thursday in
I
October?
want to say it's the,
Hold on, that might be a good date.
Heck, if it is. It's the 7th.
Oh, so it's
Yeah,
that.
I thought that's my wife's birthday, so I know.
Oh, okay. Okay, your case, Mr. Lloyd, is gonna be reset to October 25th. Stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman. This will conclude your case. Thanks for being patient with us. You're free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Probably tomorrow, Pat, okay?
Thank you.
I'll try to call you today, but it'll probably be tomorrow, okay? I forgot microphones on here.
Yeah.
He's gone, okay, I'll just call him.
He's still, Mr. Lloyd,
Yes, sir.
your attorney needs to tell you something.
I just wanted to let you know that I'll be calling you. I'm going to try to call you this afternoon, but it'll probably be tomorrow morning.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
All right.
Thanks, Thad.
All right, you're free to go. You have a blessed day, Mr. Lloyd.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, you're welcome.
Little thing.
Okay, this is cause number 329-358. Case is filed in the state of Texas versus Michael Ray Simmons. Michael Ray Simmons has been, according to our notes, transferred to the LaSalle Union, so he's in federal custody. Is that correct, Mr. Boyd?
Yes, Your Honor.
And he had a case set in the 252nd District Court today.
That's where I was a moment before I came here, Your Honor.
And did it?
They moved it 60 days because we're pleading Mr. Simmons in his federal case on Wednesday, and it'll be reset for sentencing probably about 6 weeks. That's kind of what federal does.
Do you have that date?
November 3rd.
Let's reset it on the same day then.
And then we may know more at that point what we're going to do.
Okay.
I'll let Mr. Boyd know at that point what he gets in his federal. I don't know what he's getting. It's sentencing guidelines. You never know. So,
Okay.
I'll be
So once you well, you can get your reset. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thanks, John.
Let's see. It's cause number 327-550, Jonathan Bernard Connor. Would you come forward? Well, his felony case is set on. Okay, your full name is Jonathan Bernard Connor? Okay, Mr. Connor, still in trial. Apparent, yeah, you haven't, you representing yourself in this case?
I guess so. I guess so.
Do we have any, what is it called, judge's explanation? He never had. Okay, now, Mr. Connor, there's some paper on the desk in front of you, the table in front of you to your left. No, that's in front of you, yeah. The page to the left, it should say, judge's explanation of rights to defendants without attorney. You see that? I'm going to go over this with you. It says that as a defendant in a criminal case, you have three options. Number one, you may hire an attorney. Do you understand that option? Number two, if you do not have enough money to hire an attorney, you may request an attorney be appointed to represent you. Do you understand that option? Number three, you may not represent you may represent yourself. Do you understand that option? Now, if you want an attorney to represent you and have enough money to hire an attorney, the case will be reset to give you time to do so. If you want an attorney and do not have the money to hire one, you will need to fill out a financial questionnaire so that the proper person can determine whether or not to appoint an attorney to represent you. You may not speak to the prosecutor about your case unless you sign a written waiver of your right to be represented by an attorney. Be aware that there are dangers to self-representation. Waiving your right to an attorney and representing yourself may result in a worse outcome for you and your case, including the loss of significant legal rights and opportunities relating to military service, possession of a firearm, housing and public benefits, child custody, immigration status for non-citizens, and employment. If you choose to proceed without an attorney, you may change your mind at any time and may request counsel from the court. At the bottom of this document, it states, defendant's choice, mark initials next to only one choice. If your choice is, I want to reset this case or hire my own attorney, then you'll put your initials on the first line to the left. If you've already hired an attorney to represent you, then you'll put your initials on the second line to the left and the name of the attorney on the line to the right. If your choice is, I want to apply for court-appointed counsel, then you'll put your initials on the third line to the left. If you've already been appointed to court-appointed counsel, in this case, you put the name of the attorney on the line to the right and your initials on the fourth line to the left. If you want to waive your right to an attorney to represent yourself, then you put your initials on the fifth line to the left. Once you have finished initialing one of the 5 lines, you will sign on the line that says defendant, and you will date it today's date, August 30 of 2021. Mr. Connor, do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you go ahead and make your choice, and then we'll proceed after that. Don't forget to sign and initial. And date it. Okay, Mr. Bailey, would you hand that to me? Okay, you've already hired, right, Kimler?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Connor, please stand on the X. Your case is going to be reset. Once you get your case reset, you'll be free to go. Rife is on the felony cases. I don't see him on the misdemeanors.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a reset, but you need to, let your attorney know he needs to send us a letter of rep.
Let a
Let
rep,
us know he's representing.
let's see, who else we got?
want me to- Where to go?
In session in cause number 326-092, case is filed, State of Texas versus Jeffrey Zachary. Is your full name Jeffrey Dwayne Zachary?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Zachary? Okay, Mr. Zachary, do we have any a judge explanation in Mr. Zachary's case? Okay, Mr. Zachary. There's a form in front of you that is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without Attorney. I'm going to go over this form with you. And it reads, as a defendant in a criminal case, you have three options. Number one, you may hire an attorney. Do you understand that option?
Yes, sir.
Number two, if you do not have enough money to hire an attorney, you may request an attorney be appointed to represent you. Do you understand that option?
Yes, sir.
And number three, you may represent yourself. Do you understand that option? If you want an attorney to represent you and have enough money to hire an attorney, the case will be reset to give you time to do so. If you want an attorney and do not have the money to hire one, you will need to fill out a financial questionnaire so that the proper person can determine whether or not to appoint an attorney to represent you. You may not speak to the prosecutor about your case unless you sign a written waiver of your right to be represented by an attorney. Be aware that there are dangers to self-representation. Waiving your right to an attorney and representing yourself may result in a worse outcome for you and your case, including loss of significant legal rights and opportunities relating to military service, possession of a firearm, housing and public benefits, child custody, immigration status for non-citizens, and employment. If you choose to proceed without an attorney, you may change your mind at any time and may request counsel from the court. At the bottom of this document, it reads, defendant's choice, mark initials next to only one choice. If your choice is, I want to reset this case to hire my own attorney, then you'll place your initials on the first line to the left. If you have already hired an attorney, then you will place your initials on the second line to the left and the name of the attorney on the line to the right. If your choice is, I want to apply for court-appointed counsel, then you'll place your initials on the third line to the left. If you have already been appointed a court-appointed counsel, then you'll place your initials on the fourth line to the left and the name of the attorney on the line to the right. If your choice is, I want to waive my right to an attorney and represent myself, then you'll place your initials on the fifth line to the left. Once you have finished initialing one of the 5 lines, then you will sign on the line that says defendant, and you will date it today's date, August 30th of 2021.
I'm gonna hire my lawyer.
Okay, you already made your choice?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Bailiff, would you please hand it to me? Okay, Mr. Zachary, would you please stand on the 4X? Your case is going to be reset to give you opportunity to hire an attorney. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Please sign something in the box. You won't be able to see it over there. Just sign it for you.
Here you go. Yes.
Just waiting on the excuse, Judge. I'll be.
Oh, you excuse? I mean, yeah. Yeah, use excuse. I mean, if she doesn't show up, I'm just telling you that they don't show up, the bond is probably gonna be forfeited.
No, I got that. I said, I thought you wanted me to stay, Judge.
No. We just, yeah.
I'll call you in that later.
Okay.
Okay, you're welcome. Hmm. What about Aguilera, Henry Aguilera Mule? Henry Aguilera Mule? Oh, in Fed, okay. I see that. Okay, so that's another one in jail. Okay, and then whoever. Zachary was just preset to hire. Okay, we'll see you. Have a blessed day. Okay, let's do, okay, that's on page. Mhm. What about, oh, he's in jail. What did we do on, what about Alex Stelly? What, did we do anything on Ryan Gertz is on DWF? Alex Stelly, page 12. What's my name, Alec Joel Stelly?
No, sure. Didn't answer. McKee didn't answer.
Huh?
Stanley or McKee.
No, McKee is in jail.
His case is still set. Let me make sure it happens.
Oh, he's still set for the, he was set today in 252nd. But he, yeah.
And he's still in, so. I have to wait on that one.
Well, anybody else, anybody else in the hallway?
No.
Yes, felony court.
I know, down the hall. You might have to see if he's in down there. Or if they still in session. Then Gertz said he was going down the hall.
I believe so, Your Honor. I think he had something said at 10.
Right, yeah, he sure did. Oh, you know what? He had something at 11:30, or 11 or 11:30.
Yeah, something else.
It might be this, this guy here, this Alex Stelly. Yeah, I remember him saying something. I know it was 11 or 11:30.
Smith on with Neck and Reynolds. That's the one he.
On what
wanted to
page?
say with- Hold on, 15/260. I think I just didn't write it on my back.
What page is that?
11.
Page 11.
Mason Reynolds, his is still.
Reynolds, that's Smith.
Yeah, but. he's
What
still-
happened with Reynolds? Reynolds left to go to, didn't Reynolds go to drug court to check on this guy?
The guy
Nathan,
is still
Ethan
sitting
Smith?
in court, but they're not- should be this afternoon. Yeah.
Reynolds had left to go to, check on Ethan Smith.
Yeah, his case is. in drug court. It's still set for today.
So we got, I guess, two people that's kind of set on felonies. We may have to call a docket, call a bond for it, just. You know, if, could you find out if, oh, that's criminal, no, that's the 252nd in drug court. I wonder if they still in sessions. Is, Mr. Porter, is there any way you can find out if the 252nd is still in session and the, and drug court? Okay.
They were answering that probably.